Talk about why I'm only going to put a 200-gallon fuel tank into this hopefully soon to be fuel trailer. First off, let's talk about the equipment that this thing will be servicing. Mostly it'll just be our 8285R, which pulls our air seeder, and our John Deere S670 combine. Now, the 8285R has a fuel capacity, if I completely drain the tank, of 183-ish gallons. The S670 is about 251 gallons. Again, if I drain it completely empty. At the end of the day, I just really don't need all that much fuel to keep stuff serviced and running. During a whole day of running during planting season, the 8R, I mean, if I'm running a pretty good long day, I'll probably burn 3/4 of a tank of fuel, maybe a little more. But again, that'll be easily covered by a 200-gallon fuel tank. And when I go home for the night, it's not that big of a deal to just, pop the nozzle in, top it back off. That way in the morning, ready to go again. With the S670, it's pretty much the same story. Only with it, maybe during a full day of cutting, a little over half, 2/3 of a tank of diesel, maybe. And that's if we're, pushing really hard and not having to move, from field to field and stuff like that. Again, easily serviced by a 200-gallon tank each day. Now, I may end up calling that foundry back and bumping it up to 250, just, in case I do manage to get that S670 pretty well emptied out and I want to fill it all the way. I don't know. Still kind of kicking around that idea. But right now, we're just going to stay around that 200-gallon mark. I'm not really wanting to lug a ton of fuel all around. 200 gallons to me just seems like a nice little bit of weight, easily manageable by any of our pickups and anything here on the farm, and enough to keep anything running for the day. My goal with this is just so we don't have to run equipment back home all the time. All that roading, the air seeder, all that roading, the combine, it takes a toll on all the driveline pieces and everything else. Everyone here knows that. The biggest issue with especially the combine is there's just some roads I can't go down with it. It's too wide for a bunch of bridges and things like that. So we've got a couple fields where it's only really like a mile home, but I actually have to go 4.5 miles to get around and get back over. It's a real pain in the butt, and it takes an inordinate amount of time. So even if I have to fill this thing up every night or every morning, it's really not that big of a deal. That'll be a lot faster than having to try to road stuff home every day. And now maybe calling this a fuel trailer really isn't the right term for this. I mean, I guess it's going to be more of a, well, I would say utility trailer, but it's not one of them, piece of junk, 6x8 things you can get at, Bomb Guards or something like that. But that's the right term, though. It's going to be a utility trailer because I will have tools, I will have oil, and I even am trying to figure out where I want to put some sort of DEF dispenser in here or something like that for the 670. And I want to have room to have all of that plus the air compressor and things. So I don't want a giant fuel tank getting in the way of where I'm trying to get the things and work. I'm even hoping to have some sort of drop-down table on the side of the trailer here. So if I'm needing to work on something or, repack a wheel bearing or something like that, I have a place that I can work that's not on the ground and will allow me to better and more easily repair things while I'm out and about. So yes, at the end of the day, this will be hauling fuel back and forth, keeping everything running, but it's going to also do so much more. It's going to wear a bunch of different hats. So there you have it. My reason of why I'm not really going all that big with fuel tank in this thing. Might be right, might be wrong, might regret it in the future. Who knows? That's just what I'm going with for now. As always, thanks for stopping by.